What's the best way to scandalize the Joseon-era? Step 1, wear a disguise. Step 2, design outrageous hanboks. Step 3, save enough money to flee the country. Right away, the story of Park's marriage contract starts strong. Park Yeon-woo is bold, talented, and determined to live life on her own terms, which in Joseon is basically a full-time rebellion. Only, her plans don't quite work out. When her parents force her into marriage, everything derails. Thankfully, her betrothed is at least someone she likes. He's kind, gentle, and miracle of miracles, he actually respects her. The problem? He dies on their wedding night. And then it gets worse. She's kidnapped by a masked stranger and thrown into a well, which is another A+ move by this drama. Danger, mystery, and momentum right out of the gate. It wastes absolutely no time pulling you in. Then comes the twist that defines the entire show. Instead of drowning, Yeon-woo emerges in a 21st century hotel pool. Let the chaos begin. She immediately meets a man who looks exactly like her dead husband. Same face, same name, Kang Tae-ha. Only this version is cold, logical, emotionally shut down, and fully convinced she's lost her mind. And honestly, this is one of the best things the drama does. Because instead of giving us a copy-paste romance, it forces Tae-ha and us to fall in love with someone completely different. For Yeon-woo, nothing about the modern world makes sense, and the show leans all the way into that. So when she sees a TV playing a historical drama, she thinks it's a time portal. She thinks the robot vacuum is a monster trying to steal her snacks. Moon pies become her entire personality. It's hilarious and endearing, both for us and for Tae-ha. And it's through these moments that Tae-ha starts to soften. Not all at once, this is very much a slow burn, but in small, meaningful shifts. A glance that lingers a second too long, a moment of concern he can't quite hide. As the two slowly fall in love, so will you. But of course, it's not that simple. Everyone from Yeon-woo's past has a modern counterpart, and they're just as treacherous. We learn that the Tae-ha of the past didn't die from his heart condition. He was poisoned by his stepmother. And in the present, she's still at it, manipulating, scheming, and trying to sabotage Tae-ha so she can take over SH Group. But somehow, she's not even the most interesting villain. That title goes to Tae-ha's grandfather. And this is honestly one of the most impressive things the drama pulls off. When we first meet him, he seems like a sweet, silly old man. He loves sweets, always has a riddle ready, and raised Tae-ha after his parents died. But little by little, the show layers in hints that something is off. He has Yeon-woo's Joseon-era watch. He has the mask the kidnapper wore. He ignores his other grandson. His kindness comes with sharp edges. The show doesn't hit you over the head with it. It lets the unease build quietly, piece by piece, until you can't ignore it anymore. And then the truth lands. He's ruled by greed. When Tae-ha's mother was ill, he locked her away in an annex and left her to die, all because he didn't approve of her. It's chilling, and what makes it work is how restrained the writing is. Where other dramas would make the twist obvious from episode 1, this one trusts the audience. It lets you doubt yourself right up until the reveal. Meanwhile, Yeon-woo is juggling everything: an unfamiliar world, a complicated family, and a romance she doesn't fully understand yet. But she never loses herself. And that's what makes her such a compelling lead. She takes her Joseon-era skills and adapts them, creating modern hanboks that blend tradition with everyday wear. And it's not just a gimmick, it's a reflection of who she is. She doesn't abandon her identity, she evolves it. which means she always has agency. She's not waiting to be saved, she's building something for herself. And that makes her incredibly easy to root for. The side characters are just as strong. Sa-wol, Yeon-woo's handmaid who also time traveled, is the patron saint of hustle culture. She adapts instantly, thrives in chaos, and somehow manages to be both hilarious and unstoppable. Her romance with Hong Sung-pyo, Tae-ha's badass but kind secretary, is one of those perfectly balanced pairings where both characters feel equally matched. And then there's Kang Tae-min, Tae-ha's half-brother, who is quite simply chaos in human form, with a surprisingly soft center. With so much going for it, it's actually hard to find flaws. But for the sake of balance, here are the few I found. First, the clothes. Yeon-woo designs stunning, creative statement pieces. And yet, the show often puts her in outfits that feel oddly normal. I wanted more drama, more visual payoff. Let her wardrobe reflect her talent. And second, this is a more personal preference kind of thing. I am not nearly as forgiving as most K-drama leads. Tae-ha reaches a kind of understanding with his grandfather. Not forgiveness exactly, but acceptance. And I get what the show is going for. It's about letting go of hate, not excusing harm. But personally, if someone locked my mother in an annex to die, we are not sitting down for tea later. Still, compared to many dramas where one apology magically erases years of abuse, this one handles it with far more nuance. Tae-ha doesn't absolve him, he just refuses to carry that weight forever. And that distinction matters. So yes, as you can probably tell, the story of Park's marriage contract gets an easy 5 out of 5 soju bottles from me. If you love time travel romances with strong chemistry, compelling characters, and a female lead who actually has agency, this is absolutely worth your time. And if you like that kind of story, you'll probably enjoy my book, Beneath the Destiny Stone. But before we get to that, a warning. Next week, we are entering the trauma zone. We're talking about Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart Ryo, the ultimate what-if story, and the drama that emotionally devastated an entire generation. We need to talk about why that ending still haunts people nearly a decade later. So prepare yourselves, and maybe stock up on the tissues now. Stick around for a sneak peek at the audiobook of Beneath the Destiny Stone. This is the moment where Henry is starting to realize that Fiona, our modern-day time traveler, is definitely not like other 14th century girls. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the Moon Lovers deep dive. And now, a scene from Beneath the Destiny Stone. Enjoy!
You're a mystery, you ken that. An amused smirk played on his lips. I've heard words come out your mouth even the meanest street urchin wouldn't deign to say. And when I think on that, I can believe you grew up in a tavern. His ribs rose with a deep inhale. But sometimes when you speak, it's with the command of kings, like you're used to being obeyed without question. He glanced at Gren's ring. And when I think on that, and the fact you can read, and that you wear a gem on your finger no tavern owner could possibly afford, well, I have to think there's more to your past than you're telling me.